everybody, this is Polly from thefitmumformula.com here, and I'm going to be sharing with you today some healthy kids snack ideas because it's summer holidays and yes, treats are a part of that, but for the most part we want our kids to be bouncing around because they're full of energy and vitality, not because they're high on sugar for the most part. Now I know the majority of the time I'm helping mums get in shape and feel their best with thefitmumformula.com, but especially in summer holidays when the kids are around a lot more and we're going to be making more meals that are for the whole family and snacks and out picnicking and things like that, I think it's a good time to share some ideas of healthy snacks that the kids will enjoy too. So I've got 5 ideas for you that are slightly different, some more interesting things to stop the kids getting bored, and then I've got 5 ideas for when you're really in a hurry, when you're out and about, when they're nagging you and they're starving hungry and all you want to do is open a packet. So to kick off some of the slightly different ideas you might want to not have thought of. Number 1 is apple sandwiches. Now I don't mean apple in bread. What I mean is you get an apple, you slice it down the middle and you cut some slices out of it, and then you use those round slices to make a sandwich with a healthy filling inside. Peanut butter works really well, cream cheese works really well, slices of chicken work really well with apple, and slices of cheddar cheese also work really well. So that's apple sandwiches. It gets some vitamins in there and they're more fun to eat as well than just an apple by itself. Next up we've got pancakes. Now what I mean with pancakes, the thicker ones tend to work better, the ones that are more like Scotch pancakes, but instead of using refined white flour, I prefer to use things like oats or oat flour, buckwheat flour, what else have we got? We've got rice flour, quinoa flour. Now all of those, once they're cooked, you cannot tell the difference at all. They behave and taste exactly like flour, but they're gluten-free for any kids who can't tolerate gluten, and they're less refined and less processed carbohydrates, so they stop the kids getting quite such a big sugar high that you get from too much white flour. So I would suggest using 1 egg and 50 grams of your chosen flour. You can use ground almonds as well, so long as there's no nut allergies. And then just enough milk to make quite a thick batter, because we're not aiming for those really thin crepes here. We want the thick ones because that makes them a lot more portable and you can pick them up with your hands and just eat them as a snack like that. So 1 egg, 50 grams of your chosen dry mix, and then just enough milk to make quite a thick batter. And then you can either dry fry those in a non-stick pan or use just a tiny bit of butter or oil just to cook those in a pan. And you can obviously add toppings to that, like chopped fruit, lemon and a tiny bit of sugar, all sorts of ideas. Some dark chocolate chips, a little bit of dark chocolate is absolutely fine as well. You can either mix those into the batter or use it as a topping, and they're great portable snacks as well because you can eat those pancakes cold. Next up we've got smoothies. Now the great thing about smoothies is that you can create them exactly how you want. You can put anything you want in them depending on the purpose of the smoothie. So if you want it to be more of like a breakfast smoothie, you can put oats and yogurt and banana in there, make it much more filling. If it's just as a drink, you want to make it a lot thinner, a lot more refreshing, more water, and maybe some watery fruits like berries are quite low in sugar and high in water, and cucumber is fantastic. It's got a very high water content, and once it's blended up they can't taste it at all. But what I would warn against with smoothies is when you're putting loads and loads of fruit in a smoothie, that is a lot of fruit. Now, fruit's very good for you, but it does have natural sugar in it. So piling loads and loads of just fruit into a smoothie is going to be quite a lot of sugar in one go, so you do want to watch that. Better than juice because it's still got all the fibre and all the other nutrients that are lost when you're juicing fruit, but nevertheless try and keep them just a little bit of fruit and then maybe some other vegetables if you can sneak in there as well, maybe some carrot and some other liquids, and things like yogurt and milk are a great way to give them some more energy as well, get some calcium in there too. And coconut milk is great as well, especially if you've got kids who can't tolerate dairy. Coconut's a great one because some of these nut milks like almond milk can be very low fat, very low calorie, and growing children do need those calories for energy, so I recommend a full fat coconut milk if you're not going to be using cow's milk. And also what you can do with those smoothies, again, it doesn't matter what you've got in their smoothie. If you get those ice lolly molds, you just pour whatever it is in there, and then later on they've got ice lollies as well of what they think is a treat, and they see it as quite a fun food, but it's actually really good for them. Okay, next up we've got dipped bananas. Now there's two ways you can do these. You get a banana, peel it, chop it in half, and then put some sort of a stick into it. Those wooden lolly sticks are ideal, but failing that, I have been known to use plastic picnic knives. They work just as well. Now, one method is you can put these in the freezer. An hour or so later, when they're frozen, dip them in dark melted chocolate, and because the banana's frozen, the dark chocolate will freeze almost instantly around the banana, and you've got a dark chocolate banana ice pop essentially. The other way of doing them is not freezing them, but dipping them in peanut butter that you might want to mash up to soften a little bit. Dip it in peanut butter and then roll it in something dry to coat it. So some sort of seeds or chopped nuts if your kids aren't too small, desiccated coconut, even grated dark chocolate again, you know, just to roll those up on a lolly stick, and it's a healthy, nutritious snack. And finally, out of the things that you can make ahead of time are oat cookies. Now, the great thing about oat cookies, like smoothies, is you can put pretty much anything in them. As long as you've got egg to hold them together, you've got some kind of dry mix, and then you want to have some sort of fat in them and some sort of sweetener, that's a cookie. So basically, one of my favourites is oats are just absolutely fantastic. I've got some in the freezer at the moment because we made a massive batch. And in those, I've got oats, I've got small seeds, there's a load of nuts in there that I put through the blender, so they're very finely ground, and the kids don't even know they're there. They wouldn't normally like things like whole nuts, but in these they're lapping them up. There's goji berries in these cookies. I think I used coconut oil in them as the fat, but there's nothing wrong with butter if you want to use butter. I would choose a solid fat. Oils tend to be a bit runny, especially at room temperature, and you might find your cookies fall apart. But butter or coconut oil are great. And then if you've got some dried fruit in there, that might be enough sweetener. Otherwise, a little bit of honey just to sweeten them up a little bit. Mashed fruit can go in them as well. Mashed bananas or apple puree can be used as your moisture in your cookies as well. Just bake them until they're done. Obviously, it's hard to give you times and exact temperatures and things because it depends what goes into them, but just use your common sense, keep an eye on them, and when they're looking slightly to go golden, take them out. You might need to leave them to go cool before they harden a bit. Sometimes they come out the oven a bit soft, but be adventurous. Pack as much healthy stuff into those cookies as you can. Right, on to the times when you are really, really busy and you're really tired and you just want to hand them something. Okay, amazingly, having said that my kids don't like nuts, what they do like is cashew nuts. So you think about it, cashew nuts are pale, they don't tend to come with a skin, and they're very creamy, they're very easy, they're very child friendly, they're very mild. Obviously, again, if you've got small children, you want to be careful with nuts, and nut allergies are clearly a no-go. But my Bella is 3, she loves cashew nuts, she loves pistachios as well actually, but cashew nuts seem to be a very child-friendly nut, and cashew nut butter as well is another one. Yogurt tubes. Okay, you know the ones I mean, the little kind of squeezy ones that you chop chop the top off and they eat them like that. Just put them in the freezer, and then instead of an ice cream, a sugary ice cream, because I don't know if you've ever looked at those frozen yogurt ice creams. If you look on the back of them, they aren't just frozen yogurt like you put a yogurt in a freezer. I think it's to get the consistency right. There is sugar syrups, there's all these fillers in them, there's all sorts. They're not really frozen yogurt for the most part. Not the ones I've looked at anyway. But these little pops, they're just about the right size in the freezer. Out you come, keeps them occupied outside for a little while, and it's just yogurt, but it's fun to them. Next one, vegetable crisps. Now you can make your own vegetable crisps at home by finely slicing root vegetables and baking them at a very low temperature. But I have seen so many decent makes now on the shelves of supermarkets these days. Things like carrots, beetroot, parsnips, sweet potatoes. All of these offer a lot bigger variety of nutrients than just plain white potatoes. Often they come with a skin around the edge as well, and you're just getting a lot better variety of nutrients and fibre than just those kind of refined white potato ones, and especially those puffy maize type ones. You know, there's absolutely nothing in those in terms of goodness. You're just completely empty calories. You're just giving it's just nothing in them. But these crisps, you know, that's still a packet of crisps. You can still open them and give them like a packet of crisps. It's a lot better for them. Okay, next up we've got king prawns. I know it's a bit of a random one, but king prawns, again, they're finger food. Kids love finger food. They've got quite a mild taste to them, and I guess things like fish are a bit hit and miss with kids, but they are, and that's with my kids as well, by the way. but the king prawns does seem to be one that goes down quite well because they can just eat them with their fingers. They love it. And also you can whip up a little bit of that homemade sauce, just mayonnaise and ketchup as well to dip in if you want to. Just a tiny bit of ketchup is absolutely fine. We're aiming for good, not perfect, remember. And finally, my 7-year-old at the moment has an obsession with what she calls a fruit cake. Now this isn't a fruit cake. What she does is she wants to go and get some fruit, and she loves berries at the moment. Berries obviously in the summer are cheap, tasty, nutritious, all over the place. Get them while you can, while they're nice and fresh and British at the moment. And I say, all right, you know, a lot of it, there's a bit of mess for me to clear up, but basically she gets them out the fridge and she gets a great big plate and she puts cherries on and strawberries and raspberries and blueberries, and she comes in with this ginormous, great, beautiful looking presented plate of all these different coloured fruits and things, and Bella and her just sit and eat there until they've had their fill. Now inevitably she puts far too much and it all ends up going back on the fridge, but they've got quite a lot of fruit in there, and the point is she's had fun doing that, and it's a lot more fun than me just saying, no kids, you're not having this pudding until you've had your fruit. No, you're not having that, you're not having that snack, you've got to have fruit first. That's a really nagging, boring thing for a mum to say, but she's gone out there and she's put it all together and she's made it look pretty and she's helping her little sister have it. And it's a great way to get fruit with them, so I never say no to her when she wants to do that. It's a great game, keeps her busy, and also I get her to clear up afterwards, so it's a bit of a lesson there as well in housekeeping for her. Right, so there you go. I've got 5 alternative, slightly different snacks for you to keep them interested, and 5 super quick, healthy snacks for your kids. If anybody has any questions about either adult nutrition for yourself or for your kids, please do comment below or drop me a line at polly@thefitmumformula.com. If you've got any concerns about your kids' diet or your own, any food intolerances, weight management problems, please do get in touch. And I hope this was really helpful, and I hope you all have a fantastic, happy and healthy summer. Bye-bye.